Imagine a land where reality actually outstrips fantasy. Imagine a land that is surrounded by war zones and yet by some miracle remains blissfully peaceful. Imagine a land that is officially Muslim but tolerates alcohol and prostitution flourishes. Imagine a city that has emerged almost overnight out of the desert like some mirage built by the sweat of indentured workers. Imagine a place like no other. Sheikh Mohammed is arguably the biggest gambler here today. He's betting that his vision of Dubai as the center for a 21st century Arabian Renaissance will prove to be a winner.
Sheikh Mohammed came and said this is now a time for Dubai to go global, to surpass its locality and the region and try to reach to the furthest possible point in the globe.
For Dubai functions like a family business, but a family business whose CEO is not afraid to take risks. A stunning example of Sheikh Mohammed's risk-taking juts out of the Arabian Gulf.
The market called it 7-star. There may not be a 7-star hotel, but I would certainly claim that it is the most luxurious hotel in the world.
It also lays claim to being the tallest. Burj Al Arab, with its gold leaf, marble, satin, and crystal, oozes over-the-top opulence. Almost the height of the Empire State Building, it is also an engineering wonder, with a Teflon-coated veneer shaped like a sail. At this hotel, there are no rooms to rent, only double-floor suites, a mere 202 of them, with rates starting in the low thousands. And this one, the presidential suite, lists at $13,000 a night, breakfast not included. Dubai's biggest promoter and ruler, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, is the latest in a line of the Maktoum family who've reigned over this place. The Maktoums first arrived at this tiny port town more than a century and a half ago, and through most of that reign, there wasn't much about Dubai worth promoting.
Well, going back into history to the 1950s, the place was radically different from what it is right now. It was just a simple city of no importance at all. And when you talk about poverty, then you could smell and you could see and you could sense that people were really in subsistence, and there was hardly anybody who was educated at the time. My father never had any formal education. He didn't know how to read or write.
This was a town of no distinction, a desultory home to traders and pearl divers, with the occasional pirate or smuggler taking refuge along the shores of its creek. And then in the mid-1960s, a small reserve of oil was discovered in Dubai, paltry in comparison to those of its neighbors in Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia, but big enough that Dubai's leaders saw a chance to transform his desert land. By the 70s, Dubai saw a flood of foreigners turn a sleepy town into an instant city. These early expatriates, or expats as they are known, came mostly from South Asia and surrounding countries like Iran and Iraq. They and all the other expats are here because in this tax-free port city, they see that they can make some real money. That's certainly what Hans Krauss, an architect from Canada, thought when he arrived in the early 90s. This was going to be a temporary job for him. 16 years later, he's still here.
I came in July 91, and Dubai is basically unrecognizable. It's a completely different town. when I come from my place, as you approach Sheikh Zayed Road, you can see the entire horizon like a brown haze, which is the pollution.
Hans Kraus is working on a structure that will soar above that pollution and will become the latest addition to Dubai's growing list of superlatives. When finished, the Burj Dubai, a hotel, office, and residential complex, will lay claim to the title of the tallest building in the world. Wherever another of Dubai's monumental projects pops up, they are there. They are the muscle that pours the concrete, moves the sand, ties the steel rods. They are the manual laborers who are behind the construction boom of Dubai. They come from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and China. After their shift change, they are shuttled in buses back to their work camps, like this one at Sonapur, a word that means city of gold in Hindi. But this city of gold is somewhat tarnished. 150,000 men are jammed together to eat, wash, and sleep in overcrowded dorms.
He wakes up at 4:30 in the morning, cooks his breakfast, and by 5:30 takes a shower and all gets ready. By 5:30 they start for their work site, and the whole day he works out there. By 6 o'clock and return starts back for home, and the time they reach home, maybe sometimes 8 o'clock. After getting back, they wash their clothes and again cooks for the dinner, and then they go to sleep.
Alia has chosen to pursue a career in what was traditionally a profession only open to males.
When I first said I want to go into photography and I want to become a photographer, they looked at me like, are you mad? Are you crazy? What kind of future can that give you?
Working as one of the first professional female photographers in Dubai does have some advantages.
I know the people, especially being a woman. I've actually noticed that I gain their trust because I walk into a house, I walk into a home, and I'm not a threat. I'm not seen as a threat. I'm a tiny little girl with a camera, and so they tend to relax. Smile, Betty.
Although more Emirati women are joining the workforce, they, just as with Emirati men, remain a tiny proportion of a workforce dominated by expats. Currently, the fashion is for young, with-it Emirati men to doff their headscarves at work. They also seem to have given up on their razors.
I think, the stubble, I think Brad Pitt inspired us. No, I think it's just how we express ourselves. And I think it's attractive to the girls as well, so.
With the exception of drugs, internet porn, and drinking and driving, Dubai seems remarkably tolerant of most vices found in the West, including prostitution. But not everyone is happy about it.
Of course, it's an offense to see a prostitute either walking in the street or being in the hotel, or dressing or calling her clients publicly, and it's outrageous to find such a thing in Arab and Muslim country.
One nightclub had become particularly notorious. Every night, up to 600 women from former Iron Curtain countries in Asia, officially here as kindergarten teachers or domestic help, would show up to work the night shift. No one is saying why it suddenly closed its doors, but prostitution continues to thrive, even though it is officially illegal.
This is not an invitation for the Muslims to be corrupted. If they don't want to touch these places, there are plenty of mosques, there are plenty of prayer places that you could go to. So you don't have to go to the bars and to the nightclubs and to the what have you, So I think this is a place that have recognized that diversity is essential.
It is evening by the time the last and the richest of the races at the Dubai World Cup are run. Some of the thoroughbreds' owners are vying for prize money bigger than any in the racing world. But Sheikh Mohammed is betting on something even bigger, a city-state unlike any in the world today. And unfortunately for Sheikh Mohammed, this year's winning purse of $6 million was not won by him. However, the money will stay in Dubai, for tonight's big winner just happens to be Sheikh Mohammed's brother. One way or another, Dubai Inc. looks like it's still on a winning streak.